ready for a deep dive. Today, we're going to dig into something kind of magical. You ready?
Let's do it. I'm excited.
It's called Ikigai.
Ikigai, yeah.
And I think this is going to be one of those topics that really gets you thinking about, like, what makes life worth it, you know?
Absolutely, yeah.
So we're talking about this age-old Japanese philosophy, not some new trendy thing. And it's all about finding that sweet spot in life where you feel totally aligned.
Yeah.
And I think what's cool is that it's not just like find your dream job and you're done.
Right.
It's way more about like all these different elements in your life coming together.
Exactly.
So to help us visualize this whole thing, we're looking at like this Venn diagram.
Okay.
With these 4 like overlapping circles.
Yeah. I love the Venn diagram.
And each of those circles represents a piece of the puzzle. Okay, so first circle, what you love. And honestly, this can be anything, right? Like, what are those things that light you up?
I think what happens, though, and where people can get tripped up is they might say, well, I love to watch TV. And it's like, okay, but is that truly a passion? Or is that just something that you do to kind of like zone out? So we're looking for things that light you up that maybe also you could see yourself doing, that could benefit others or benefit the world in some way.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, like how does that passion maybe connect to something bigger?
Exactly.
Okay, so that's what you love. Then we've got what you're good at, which isn't always the same thing.
Right, exactly. Like you could be good at something, but if it just totally drains you and you're just like, ugh, I have to do that thing again. So that's not really gonna lead to that feeling of fulfillment that Ikigai is all about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like jump out of bed in the morning.
Right.
You're gonna do that thing. Okay, so we've got those 2, and then we add in what the world needs.
Yes, and I think this is where people can get overwhelmed because it feels really big.
Yeah.
But it's really not. The world doesn't need everyone to be out there, solving world hunger. Although if that's your thing, go for it.
Yeah.
But it could be something as simple as being a really, really great listener for your friends.
Yes. Oh my God.
Or, being somebody who is really good at, whatever your profession is and just showing up with integrity and excellence.
Exactly. It's using your gifts, big or small,
yes,
to make a difference.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we get to the circle that feels, I think, really important for a lot of us. What you can be paid for.
Yes.
Because, like it or not, we got to pay the bills.
We do. But here's the thing, though. When you really find that intersection, that Ikigai, you're probably going to find that you're willing to do what needs to be done to kind of make ends meet.
Yeah.
People will get a side hustle, or they will, reduce their cost of living so they can do the things that they really love, that they're good at, and that the world needs.
Yeah, that's so true. And, sometimes, following that Ikigai path might mean being open to paths that aren't traditional, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so we've got these 4 killers.
Yes.
We've got the love, the skills, the world's needs, the income.
Yeah.
But what's the big deal? What happens when all of these things come together?
Well, first of all, you're probably going to be a whole lot happier.
I would hope so.
You're going to have less stress.
Sign me up.
Right, exactly. But it's really fascinating, too, because research is actually starting to show that people who are living in alignment with their Ikigai tend to live longer, healthier lives.
Wow. Really? You see, I was going to say, this isn't just some feel-good stuff.
Right, it's not, woo.
There's actual, research backing this up.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, they're doing studies, and they're finding that people who are living their Ikigai have greater life satisfaction, more purpose, and just overall, they just tend to be healthier, both mentally and physically. And that's pretty compelling.
That's huge. Okay, so for our listeners who are like, okay, I'm on board, I want this Ikigai thing, where do I start? What are some practical things people can do to start figuring this out?
I'm a big fan of journaling, just kind of getting really quiet with yourself and reflecting. And one of my favorite questions to ask is, what are those activities that just make you lose all track of time? You look up and 3 hours have gone by and you're like, where did the time go?
Yeah.
What is that for you?
Oh, that's good. Just those moments where you're just so in the flow,
Exactly. What are you doing in those moments?
I love that. Yeah, write it down. Don't just let it float away.
Exactly. And another question that you can ask yourself is, what compliments do you frequently receive?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because sometimes we don't even give ourselves credit for the things that we're really, really good at.
That's so true.
And other people are like, oh my gosh, you're so good at that. And we're like, oh, it's no big deal. But it is a big deal.
Yeah.
So pay attention to those compliments.
Write those down too. Those are important clues.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got our what you love. We've got our compliments. What else?
This one might be a little bit more challenging, but I also like to ask the question, what problems in the world keep you up at night?
Oh, yeah. That's getting deep.
Yeah. What injustice, what pain do you see? Because often our ikigai, our purpose, is tied to those things that we're like, man, I wish I could do something about that.
Yes, and it's in those like yearnings, those desires to make a difference that we often find our purpose. So listeners, I hope you're taking notes.
Yes, please.
And if you're ready for like one final juicy question to ponder, think about this. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you pursue with your life?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just let that one sink in. This whole Ikigai journey, it's not a one and done thing.
No.
It's about staying curious, staying open, and embracing the messiness, the imperfections of it all. So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep that spark alive.
Beautifully said.
And on that note, we're going to wrap up our deep dive for today.
Yeah.
Until next time, stay curious, friends.